Pebble in the sky. The year is 1949. Chicago thrives as a living, breathing entity, a patchwork of sounds, smells, and sights woven into the lives of its residents. For Joe Schwartz, a retired tailor whose hands bore the marks of decades of tireless work, the city was his symphony. He knew its rhythm, the rumble of the elevated trains, children's laughter cascading from rust-covered fire escapes, and the heartwarming, familiar aroma of his wife's cooking wafting through their modest home. Until the day that melody was obliterated. It began with a blinding flash that painted the world in white. Then came the unbearable heat, crackling and searing, leaving behind silence, absolute and unforgiving. When Joe regained consciousness, the comforting warmth of home was gone. He opened his eyes to find a sterile white room, its gleaming surfaces radiating an unsettling coldness, its antiseptic sting harsh against his senses. The world he knew was no more, replaced in an instant by this alien sterility. When Joe stumbled into the outside world, the shock struck him like a physical blow. Sleek, gleaming towers, impossibly tall, seemed to touch the heavens. Hovering vehicles moved soundlessly, magnifying the eerie, humming pulse that thrummed in his bones. The people were no less alien. Gaunt silhouettes with pale skin and hollow, vacant stares. Their unspoken secrets reflected in eyes that never seemed to age. This was Earth, but not the Earth Joe had left behind. This was a planet ravaged to its core, reduced to a desolate wasteland by centuries of destruction. It was no longer the lush, vibrant world bursting with life and opportunity he remembered. Now, it was a mere shadow, a pebble in the sky, amidst the indifference of the Galactic Empire's vast dominion. Humanity, reduced to a footnote in its own history, existed as a subjugated colony within a cold and uncaring galactic order. Joe's heart sank further when he learned about the elders like him. Here, all citizens were condemned to euthanasia at 60, a brutal policy of control enforced by the Empire. Joe, already in his 60s, had become a transient ghost in this grim future, a relic marked for death. Yet, within the silence of his mounting despair, a different emotion emerged: defiance. Fate introduced Joe to Dr. Bertram Lupov, a historian whose scholarly obsession with Earth's hidden past made him both curious and desperate. When Lupov realized that Joe, this bewildered tailor from 1949, was a living artifact of that forbidden history, hope flickered in his weary face. Reluctantly, Lupov became Joe's guide, leading him into the labyrinthine secrets of this oppressive new existence. Joe also encountered Zara, a bold, fiery spirit lost in the gloom of this broken Earth. Zara's youth and vitality burned brightly, offering Joe not pity, but a belief in his purpose. Through her, he began to realize that he wasn't simply an anomaly. He was a reminder of what humanity had lost and what it could still reclaim. As Joe pieced together the puzzle of this alien era, he stumbled upon a treacherous conspiracy. Disillusioned Earthmen, suffocated under the Empire's gilded heel, were planning a rebellion. Their whispers of dissent carried both promise and danger. Joe's unique knowledge of Earth's past, its battles, strategies, and survival instincts, transformed him into an accidental yet indispensable strategist. He told them of guerrilla warfare, of turning weakness into strength, of the resilience of resistance forged in humanity's oldest struggles. His memories, once mundane, suddenly carried enormous weight. The Empire, ever vigilant, did not leave loose ends untied. As Joe's wisdom fueled the rebellion's strength, whispers of the mysterious man from the past reached imperial ears. A bounty as unrelenting as the Empire itself was placed upon his head. He became a hunted shadow, moving through the labyrinth of the towering cityscape, his every step laced with imminent danger. Monitors tracked his movements. Strangers' eyes lingered too long. Technology seemed imbued with a malevolent awareness of him. Trials reshaped his identity. This tailor, more accustomed to stitching hems than navigating danger, became a man who relied on instincts sharpened by survival. Every moment in the rebellion demanded vigilance. Each word he uttered had to be carefully measured, for trust and betrayal intertwined in this fragile fight for freedom. The rebellion grew restless. Its plans spiraled into action with a reckless intensity that carried hope but also devastating risks. Sacrifices were made. Loyalties were tested. Joe discovered allies who would die for freedom and spies who would whisper every plan into the ears of the Empire. In the throes of chaos, Joe unearthed a strength he had never known. The resilience that had carried him through life's simple struggles back in 1949 became a roaring fire within him. His hands, accustomed to needles and fabric, began to wield tools of survival and subversion. His experiences, both past and present, solidified into a shield against the despair that threatened to engulf him. Victory, however, was not guaranteed. Each success came at a cost, and the rebellion walked a razor-thin edge between triumph and annihilation. Joe saw friends fall and enemies close in, but he could not abandon the vision of an Earth clawing its way back from the abyss. Victory, however, was not guaranteed. Each success came at a cost, and the rebellion walked a razor-thin edge between triumph and annihilation. In the dawning light of one fateful moment, Joe realized the stakes weren't just for Earth. His actions were inspiring hope where there had been none. To the rebels, he spoke not just of strategies, but of humanity's innate power to rebuild after darkness. He became more than a strategist. He became a symbol, a reminder that even an ordinary man could alter the course of destiny. As the rebellion's defining battle loomed, Joe faced a haunting truth. The fate of a planet, and quite possibly the galactic empire itself, rested not just on collective action, but on his courage to rise from the shadows and stand for freedom. The tailor from Chicago, a man who once dreamed only of quiet retirement, had become the living heartbeat of a movement. Pebble in the Sky reveals that hope can endure even in the bleakest futures. Joe Schwartz's journey speaks to science fiction enthusiasts, with its tense, suspenseful tone, its exploration of the unknown, and its celebration of the ordinary individual's ability to rise above extraordinary circumstances. The tale roars with the themes of resilience, sacrifice, and resistance, showing that even against the backdrop of towering empires and impossible odds, humanity's spirit can shine brightest. The tale roars with the themes of resilience, sacrifice, and resistance, showing that even against the backdrop of towering empires and impossible odds, humanity's spirit can shine brightest. The tale roars with the themes of resilience, sacrifice, and resistance, showing that even against the backdrop of towering empires and impossible odds, humanity's spirit can shine brightest.